Derek wanted me to cover up his lies. Is this the start of a new beef arc between Coach Greg and More Plates, More Dates? What are we talking about here? I have a feeling we're going to be talking about Turk and a whole lot of it.
Remember that, Derek? Remember that phone call? What did you ask me to do to cover it up? Oh, Greg, don't tell them about it. Get out your popcorn. This is the truth. Do I look and sound like I'm lying?
I don't think he's lying.
Coach Greg, in today's video, the aftermath of my Derek, or shall I say, Gorilla Mind call-out video. They're lying. That's right, lying about not having Ajuga Turkestanica. On the bottle, it says,
Turkesterone is responsible for some of the worst fitness memes I've ever seen in my entire life. It is a supplement containing Ajuga Turkestanica that came onto the scene a couple years ago. A lot of people are selling it. Gorilla Mind was selling it. Coach Greg was selling it. Some fitness influencers took it, had varying side effects and results. I'm not touching this shit with a 100-foot pole. Marin, that was a blast. That was really fun. I appreciate it. I truly do.
Ajuga Turkestanica. Only it's not true. Notice how he hasn't responded. He hasn't said anything. And why do you think that is? Because I'm right. In the past, when Derek was called out, they were quick to make a reply. No, it didn't go this way. No, it's not like that. Here's my rebuttal. There is no rebuttal. Of course there's not. How could they? When I have a mic drop slam dunk case.
I swear it's only popular because it sounds like testosterone. Yeah, but it's got the dumbest prefix. Turk? Turk builder? Come on.
He's not going to say anything. In case you're new to this, it's your first time hearing about this. HTLT, that's my company. It's been vindicated. We sell authentic Ajuga Turkestanica with turkesterone.
The Turk Max has Ajuga Turkestanica in it, and this is the data showing that it matches.
Chicken jockey!
I feel like Coach Greg is swinging at everyone, trying to absorb as many impressions as humanly possible. I don't think Derek is going to take the bait, though. Hey, what's up, guys? Derek, more plates, more dates here in my sauna. Yeah, man. So we got called out by Coach Greg. It's crazy.
Gorilla Mind and others been proven that they do not. They have trace turkesterone, and the plant that's on the label, it's not even the plant that they're selling.
We don't even know what plant are in these products at this point because it's not matching either of the major compounds that you can detect.
Rather than pulling their products off the market, they've decided to relabel it. After all, previously it said 10% turkesterone. 10% of 500 is 50. There was 0.36 on Gorilla Mind. And so they relabeled it, and they say, we make no claims of turkesterone. None whatsoever. But
he's trying to corner the market, raise the price. Smart business move. Destroying his competitors.
last I checked, does the bottle not say Turk Plex? And is there not a photo of the turkesterone molecule on the bottle? A photo of the molecule. Oh, we don't claim there's any turkesterone. There's a photo of it. And so when I right-click on Turkplex and look at the URL image, it literally says turkesterone. And so if you're a customer and you right-click, you're going to see turkesterone.png.
Derek got a lot of shine for exposing the Liver King. So shouldn't he defend himself while he gets exposed? I don't really know if he's getting exposed. Let's get more information before we make a judgment call.
Previous to this, several weeks ago, it said 10% turkesterone. Only they knew it wasn't. They knew it wasn't all along. They've been lying to you for years.
We told Derek
this is how it works. Your product is fake. You need to do something about it. So I would say that excuse has been taken away from Derek at this point.
Here's a response to one customer in regards to their question of whether or not they sold actual turkesterone from Ajuga turkestanica. HPLC tests don't account for Ajuga turkestanica having many different constituents.
I can't get over these words, bro. Derek's pulling in, well, I know he clears hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue a year between his companies. I don't think he has time for petty YouTube beef with Coach Greg over turkesterone. He probably created the supplement. It turned out to not be what he initially thought it was. And it was just like, oh, fuck it, we'll just keep it moving. I mean,
of ecdysteroids, including several nearly chemically identical turkesterones. With an S. There's one turkesterone. There's not many. There's one. They're lying. And so what do you think they're trying to make it look like? Oh, there's 0.36 milligrams of turkesterone. That's because they didn't count all...
This is dumber than BCAA formulas.
all the other turkesterones out there. Only there isn't. And so we at HDLT, we decided we're going to test this
We should come out with gelkesterone.
Plex. Now remember, we actually tested them in 2022, knew it wasn't real, but we didn't post anything about it. We needed proper chain of custody and so on. I thought if I post this, people are going to say, he's lying because there's conflict of interest. I never posted anything until Nootropics Depot. They tested several different companies, Gorilla Mind one of them, showing they don't have Ajuga turkestanica. In this most recent test, we tested them. We ran a chromatograph on all the ecdysteroids possible. And so you know how Gorilla Mind sells Turkplex and Ectiplex? They're two different products.
I didn't know that.
They're the same. They're identical, like identical twins. There's no difference. And so if you purchase Ectiplex or Turkplex, you're actually buying the same thing that's been labeled something different to make more money. But Coach Greg is a bad person for exposing him. As you can see, on the top, we have Ectiplex. On the bottom, Turkplex. The exact same finger.
Greg makes teenager crash out content on stuff most people would say, I don't really care about the subject. He's farming.
Fingerprint. And not only do you not see the peak for turkesterone, this is the fingerprint for cyanotis, which is native to China, of which on Reddit, Gorilla Mind and or Derek, more plates, more dates, literally says, we're not saying we're not getting this from China. They've admitted this. It's from China.
It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate.
Nobody is saying raws don't come from China. This is not the claim being asserted whatsoever in the thread. Everyone knows where raws come from. That's not a secret.
It's not from Uzbekistan, and therefore it's...
Bro, he commented that 3 years ago. Who cares?
Not turkestanica. In the same way that bananas can't grow in the North Pole, it's too cold, you can't grow Ajuga turkestanica in
China. That's why. It comes from
Can't do it. And so
I'm being sold to. This is a VSL.
it's fake. Real Ajuga, he looks like this. Compare Turk Max from HCLT to Turkplex from Gorilla Mind.
Bro used to sell real steroids, now makes infinite money selling fake steroids.
They're not the same. Notice the massive peak for turkesterone on HDLT supplements and no peak for Gorilla Mind. Why do you think that is? I mean, I know that it's complicated. I get the science is difficult to understand, but do you not believe me at this point? Do you think I'm lying? We are not selling the same plant. Derek's plant, very cheap. Remember, I was offered $5.85 a bottle. $5.85 a bottle. The copycat plant, the cheaper plant. Do you now get it? And he continues to lie. And so what is he in fact telling his customer support team to tell their customers? And so Gorilla Mind was asked to show the ecdysteroid content.
All of these supplements can be replaced with a good steak. I agree.
back in June, and this is the response they were given. We anticipate it will take a few weeks, couple weeks, to achieve the results. Assuming the lab confirms that this testing is possible, for now we kindly ask for your patience. This was June 25th. It's been more than 6 months, that's more than a few weeks, and so they haven't posted it. Now they're saying if it's possible. Of course it's possible. We did it. And so if we can do it, how can they not? Gorilla Mine, a much bigger company than Coach Greg's. And so how can we show the results, yet they can't? Because they don't want to, because it would prove that they're lying. Prove it! Even the customer support team from Gorilla Mine is calling out Coach Greg. In the DMs, a customer of Turkplex, they wrote me the response that the customer service team get them in regards to them asking about whether or not there was Ajuga turkestanica, turkesterone, and so on. Here is the response. To note, our Turkplex products contains everything claimed on the label. And so they say, no, we don't claim anything. We don't claim there's any turkesterone. And so, yeah, that picture of the turkesterone molecule, the fact it's called Turkplex, the fact that when you right click, it says turkesterone. Yeah, that's not saying there's turkesterone in it. We do not.
Going into the metadata to see that it says turkesterone does not prove that it's not Turk. All the other reasons check out, for sure. I'm just saying that that's not a good... You can name the files whatever you want to call them.
Make a turkesterone content claim, and we have publicly available third-party identity testing via HPTLC for Ajuga turkestanica, as well as hydropropyl B cyclodexin as listed on our product page. And
Bro, what does turkesterone do?
so I've already covered this. That cyclodextrin, which is a carbohydrate, they willingly show that. Oh, no problem showing the carb content, but they don't show anything else. And so it was 60% carbs. The Turkplex, it's 60% carbs. That is their...
Bro, you need to get these milky Latinos off my screen. Now.
proof. It doesn't say anything about Ajuga turkestanica. The third-party testing that they use, it's from a lab that has killed people in the past.
The creepypasta?
The lab that they were using, ABC Labs, back in 2019, it was proven that because of their improper methods, that 3 people are not alive anymore because they failed to test for the bacteria they were supposed to be testing for. ABC has changed their name. They're now called Certified Laboratories, and so Derek found the exact laboratory that would post the results that he wanted. Did they actually post a result?
Dude, all I need is benzos and apple cider.
They posted a fake result that explains nothing of the testing. And so if you want to use shady enough practices in the supplement industry, you can do it. I don't know if ABC, now known as Certified Labs, did anything shady, but do you trust them? Why would he use this company when we proved what was in ours? Why doesn't Derek and Gorilla Mine prove what's in theirs? Why hasn't he made a response? And in order to test whether or not it's Ajuga turkestanica, to see if it has turkesterone, you need to have a reference standard. Something to compare it to that's actually turkesterone, that's actually the Ajuga turkestanica. Did they respond? No. Do they have this?
Chat, you think there'll be a lawsuit? No shot. Why can't we sue them? Why can't we hop in on the beef as a third party, but take all the money? I feel like that might be a move.
No. Oh my God, we've been exposed. They make these changes. No response to Coach Greg. No mention of me. Let's hope it dies down the way Derek did this almost 3 years ago. Remember that, Derek? Remember that phone call? Oh, but Coach Greg's a snake oil salesman. Oh, Greg, don't tell them about it. Let's keep it a secret. I'll call Jeff Nippard and I'll tell him. Don't make a video about this. Don't say anything. I'm friends. No one will want to take me down.
Oh, he's spilling the beans.
And so when I responded, Derek, I'm going to post a video. I can't.
Let me reiterate. These are a bunch of Canadians fighting. Jeff Nippard, Coach Greg, Derek, who I think doesn't even care. All Canadian. Do with that what you will.
Lie to my audience. What did you then do? You posted a video 2 hours before mine, knowing I was going to do so. What did you ask me to do to cover?
Has his voice been like this forever, or is it hypergonadism that did it? It's not his real voice. It's his content voice.
It up. Remember that, Derek? And so, yeah, get out your popcorn. This is the truth. Do I look?
Canada is fractured into 3 tribes. The Jeff Nippard science-based lifters. The Coach Greg harder than last time slop enjoyers. And the more plates, more dates, looks max enthusiasts.
And sound like I'm lying. Further, you can read more about the accreditation and certifications of the lab that tested the product here. And so let's learn more about the lab. I mean, he sent the link. And so on the FDA website, your firm failed to establish and document the accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, and reproducibility of its test methods. In bold. And so we're off to a great start. Your firm failed to ensure that laboratory records included complete data derived from all tests necessary to ensure compliance with established specifications and standards. And another one. Your firm failed to exercise appropriate controls over computer or related systems to assure that only authorized personnel institute changes in master production and control records or other records. Does that sound like you would brag about what you're...
Does bro realize Derek is a billionaire and can sue him to the ground? That's a good point. Like I said before, one of the reasons I believe, I'm not going to speak for the man, I mean, he's only ever been nice to me. Derek, I'm talking about. He keeps a low profile, is because the amount of money that funnels through his brands is inconceivable to the fitness industry audience. We're talking 9 figures per year? That's why he doesn't even make YouTube content anymore. Why would you?
Labs are doing. Oh, I encourage you to read more about the third-party testing. We just did. FDA warnings. Your firm failed to routinely calibrate, inspect, or check according to a written program designed to assure proper performance of and to maintain adequate written records of calibration checks and inspections of automatic, mechanical...
And you will observe this in various niches. There's a couple of creators that truly break out of the matrix, and Derek is one of them that escaped the fitness industry.
Electronic equipment or other types of equipment, including computers, used in the manufacture, processing, packing, and holding...
That's right. Me and Greg, we're still in the matrix.
...of a drug product. Conclusion. Violations cited in this letter are not intended as an all-inclusive list. You are responsible for investigating these violations, for determining the causes, for preventing their reoccurrence, and
I must get out. Don't worry. The reason why I'm in the Matrix is because I need to sharpen my skills. If you get out of the Matrix too early, you get sloppy. You become comfortable. Dostoevsky writes about this in Notes from Underground. Give a man cake and comfort, and he rots. Utopia should not be a goal. For the wolf at the bottom of the mountain is always hungrier than the one at the top. So, yeah, I'm at the top of the mountain, but I'm only halfway there. There's a lesson in there.
For preventing other violations. Because of this, people die. That's what you need to know. Derek is standing behind a lab...
Wes Watson talks about this.
...that did all of these violations, that had to change their name because they were that bad. Is Derek not the same person that called out and exposed a certain Liver King?
Clip it and ship it.
What a bad person the Liver King is. I mean, he was lying about being natural. He was actually on performance-enhancing drugs, including growth hormone, testosterone, and so on. And Derek was a hero. Over 6 million views. Exposing the Liver King. Only Derek's worse. He's been doing this for years. How many people do you think actually believe the Liver King? 5%? How many people actually believe he was natural? In comparison, how many people think that Derek is honest? That Gorilla Mind sells quality supplements? That they would never be dishonest with you? How many of you believe that? In comparison, how many of you out there think that Coach Greg is a
Yo. He is schizo ranting. I don't have a dog in this fight. But I just hope Coach Greg comes correct. I hope he's got some next level blackmail or information to substantiate his claims. I don't know how they operate up in Canada. In fact, I think the best move is for Derek to just not answer. Because the internet moves so fast, you can just post through it. People forget everything within 48 hours.
snake oil salesman. I've proven it's the opposite. And so I'm looking on Reddit. Is Derek going to respond to this? Greg screaming at the top of his lungs, Gorilla Mind lying about turkesterone. What do you guys think? My opinion, the silence is deafening.
This just in, bro got sued.
By not responding, that is his response. If Derek / Gorilla Mind knew they were in the right, if they thought I was actually lying, they would have been within 12.
Also, I think Gorilla Mind has expanded into normie markets who don't care about fitness YouTubers. That's very true as well. That's what happened with Gymshark. Gymshark and Alphalete, to be honest, started as hyper-local fitness industry, social media personality brands that then got so big and went retail. And their original brand ethos has just been lost in the sauce.
Hours. They would have had a response, perhaps even a video.
Coach Greg is wrong. This is our proof. Look at our testing. Eat your words.
I don't see anything of the sorts. And why? Because I'm right? As much as I despise him, I'm pretty sure he's right here. They're talking about Coach Greg. I think he's the only one who's actually done proper research.
Them are Halo 3 freak. I should 1v1 him on Guardian. It's a based Reddit name.
And sourcing of turkesterone to make his product better. Not like I would buy it, but hey, it's nice to know some people are actually capable of being better. This guy doesn't like me. He's not even going to buy my product. But he's saying I'm right. Derek's selling snake oil and I am not. I'd rather someone who actually checks to see if it's the turkesterone they are selling has the actual plant inside of it instead of sawdust. Some of you don't believe in
Sawdust?
Ajuga turkestanica. You're thinking turkesterone, it doesn't actually work. I know it works. Tens of thousands of people out there know that it works. And so, yes, of course, perhaps some people are not hyper responders. They don't notice it. When I surveyed over 100,000 people on the effects of creatine, 50%
Anyone buying this shit deserves to be scammed.
said it didn't work. They tried creatine, no difference. And this is creatine, perhaps the most widely tested supplement in the world, proven to work. But 50% said, I don't think so. I noticed nothing. And so Ajuga turkestanica with turkesterone, it actually works. Far better than creatine, but there's still going to be some people that can't feel it working. And so if you want to go and see all about the studies, the research, if you will, translated into English, because remember, this is from Uzbekistan. North American scientists, researchers, they haven't been researching this.
So does it work or not?
Well, they thought they did. They were doing research with fake Ajuga turkestanica. We've proven it. We have the receipts. And so if they conclude that, oh my goodness,
You know what works? Progressive overload. Eating high quality food. And sleeping. That's what works. That's what I know works. I've tested it.
didn't work. Well, of course it didn't. They were using product, for example, the same thing that Derek from Gorilla Mind is selling.
It works as well as you think it does because placebo works. So I can just sell air in a can. Guys, it's placebo.
fact that we've proven that they used the wrong plant.
Hey, what's up, guys? DerekMorePlatesMoreDates.com. Yeah, dude, we got called out by someone who I thought was my friend. It's crazy.
They don't care. And so these are the hurdles that my company has to go through. If you try it and you don't like it, you never noticed any gains. It's a money-back guarantee. Full refund. And on top of that, a $20 gift card. How is that snake oil? And so if you use the product and for some reason you're not satisfied, for example,
Cole says, I took it for about a month and a half. Definitely saw improvements, but I was also getting terrible sleep with it. Interesting.
50% of people that use creatine, they're not satisfied. And so if you get the same results as you got for creatine, which is you didn't notice it, you get your money back. Does that sound bad? What do you have to lose? Literally, what do you have to lose? And so if you say, oh, it's snake oil, turkesterone doesn't work. I used Gorilla Mind's Turkplex. Insert name of company brand, and it's probably from China. It's probably the copycat plant. And
He fucking got me with the Chinese edit.
so if you did not specifically try this, you haven't used
Dude, let's run that back.
insert name of company brand, and it's probably from China. It's probably the copycat plant. And so if you did not specifically try this, you haven't used HTLT, Ajuga turkistatica with turkesterone, you have no right to complain. You can't say it didn't work. Yes, unfortunately, there are lab testing facilities that will literally lie.
Dude!
Nootropics people, literally, I'm not making this up, sent sawdust. Send it to a
Get
lab.
these fucking hoes off my screen. I don't care about them.
Test for this. Is it in fact lion's mane? They said yes. It's lion.
This editor is not his brother. He has multiple editors. Two that I'm aware of. One is his brother. The other one is actually hit me up on Instagram and says that he likes the reactions. That's why he puts me in as meta reaction sometimes when I'm reacting to the harlots, the e-whores in front of my eyes.
Lion's mane, and it passed. Only they knew it was literally sawdust. 100% pure turkesterone does nothing anyway. It never said that it did. We're selling the Ajuga turkistatica plant, which contains turkesterone and a host of other ingredients. It's not just the turkesterone, it's everything. It's analogous to an orchestra. An orchestra sounds good because perhaps they have 20 or 30 instruments. Any one single instrument is not going to have the same impact, the same sound, if you will, as everyone playing in unison. And so when you buy a Ajuga turkistatica from Uzbekistan, the authentic stuff, remember, I've been smuggling 50 keys of this across the borders. Been spending all my time acquiring this. When you get that, that's where the magic truly happens. I trust Derek since he's always preached about people selling fake and underdosed shit. I would be disappointed if I found out now it turns out he was selling fake stuff.
Yikes.
How disappointed are you now that you found out? Can't believe it took until right now. But how do you feel? You probably feel even worse knowing that Coach Greg has been vindicated, that my product is real, and that Gorilla Minds is junk. How does that feel? Derek didn't know his stuff wasn't legit at first. And so years ago,
Plausible deniability.
he had an excuse. The bone to pick is that once he did know he didn't fix it or say anything about it, left the product as is and is still selling it. At least whoever is really running GM at this point, Gorilla Mind,
That's so overpowered. Here at Third Eye Global, we run a tight ship. Like, if something arises in IT department, I call them up. It's detached. It's away from me. Nah, I don't handle that. Did you say this on Twitter? Nope. My secretary runs my Twitter. Or my ex. Nah, it's not me.
probably not Derek. I think Derek stepped back from GM about just over 1 year ago and let others run the show. And so the problems back then, the labs were
Never take accountability, chat. Dark Triad Max.
fine. I mean, you're going to blame Derek, you're going to blame Coach Greg when the labs are lying. We're using the proper labs, third-party testing, and they're saying, hey guys, it's real, it's true, don't worry about it. But only this time, it's been shown a number of times, and they yet to make a difference. Oh, other than
Linus Tech Tips, is that what he does?
taking away the 10% turkesterone claim and changing the bottle, but they're still pretending it's Ajuga turkestatica, still hiding behind the lab testing results. Greg's is one of the highest actual Turk content, which actually exceeds the label claim. Everyone else that promises Turk lies on quantity and has no Turk whatsoever. But the dose is very low anyway. Ajuga turkestatica. And the last labs that came back, remember I just smuggled over some more from Uzbek. We promise.
What goes on in Uzbekistan, bro? How much is Coach Greg responsible for the GDP alone of that country?
5% or more. And so it had over 8% turkesterone. We claim it has a minimum of 5. It's over 8. Do y'all feel like you're getting snake oil now? You're getting more than label claim. More than we promised. Quality Ajuga turkestatica from Uzbekistan, not the knockoff plant from China.
I mean, you already know Uzbekistan is on that post-commie horror shit show.
And so if you're interested in experiencing what I've been talking about, just look what it did to the blue lobsters. Original blue lobster, blue...
It doesn't work the same, bro. The fart noise on Derek with giant shoulders just doesn't hit the way that the poop fart back blue lobster did. He's got a physique.
Blue lobster on Turk from Uzbekistan. And so if you want to see what all the fuss is about, the hype, if you will, go and purchase Turk Max. Remember, if it doesn't work for you.
That's a good point. This is not going to make Derek chop off his shoulders.
If you, in fact, are not a responder, you didn't like the way it made you feel. Remember, I've warned people, don't take it late at night. It can negatively affect your sleep. I oftentimes would only need 5 hours sleep instead of 8. For some people, it causes anxiety. Don't suggest it. Mike Isertel takes this. And so if you want to feel the extra adrenaline, the energy, the stamina, to go harder than last time in the gym, to build more muscle, to get stronger, HDLT Turk Max, code Greg, 15% off. And so I strongly suggest you pair it with GO2 Max, the T-Pug stack, for increased cardiovascular benefits, endurance. Go harder than last time with greater recovery. Code Greg, 15% off.
It's his company, and he's sponsoring himself. Based. I'm just pissed I got sold to for the past 21 minutes.
Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Can you believe it? And so I can't wait to see the comments. I challenge you, I ask you, write Gorilla Mind. Ask them to respond. Do you not want to hear their response? Ask Derek. Derek, make a video. Address this. Is Coach Greg lying? You know.
Maybe don't make a video. If we're gonna talk about this from a Machiavellian perspective, silence. Just keep it moving. Enjoy the pina coladas and Turks and Caicos. But hey, if the slop thickens, if the beef escalates, you already know we're tuning in and breaking it down.